This is Brent Lewis, RTV Amador, and we are here at what's looking like the largest entry in history at the Amador County Fair. And let me tell you folks, I've walked around, I've looked at the trucks, and look at these things right here. I'm telling you, they had 23 stock trucks from the local area. That's 23 trucks. Unbelievable. Look at the stands are packed. This year, everyone is looking to see these trucks pull. Right now, we saw a 190-foot pull, and we are ready to get loud, and we are ready to see these trucks just tear the dirt up. Join us, and we're going to show you, we're going to do some interviews with these guys, and we are happy to have you guys on board. Again, this is RTV Amador, Brent Lewis, I'm out. Hey Bob, this is Brent Lewis, RTV.
Yes.
We talked to you last year.
Yeah.
How'd you pull last year?
I believe I got third place last year.
Right, it looked really good. I told you before, I remember Third Dimension from when I was 12 years old when I used to come to the fair here.
Yeah.
We're glad to see you back. What are you looking to do tonight?
I hope to get first. I'll be right there, I hope. I'm gearing up right now to get some more tire speed on the ground. Hopefully I can get the thing down the track, a little more momentum, and keep it down the track.
Have you done anything new to the truck?
Rebuilt the motor year and a half ago. I only had about the fourth pull on this new motor. And it went down to a 615 cubic inch motor now. 615
cubic inches?
Yep, all alcohol.
You heard it here, folks. Blowing alcohol, 13 cubic inches. Your name, sir?
Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey, hey, good to see you. It looks like you got an S10 here.
S15 GMC, yes.
S15 GMC. What kind of cubic inches are you pushing out of this thing?
I got a 606 big block Chevy.
606 cubic inch big block Chevy. And those are great looking tires. What kind of tires are those?
Those are Nichols. They're pulling tires.
Pulling tires.
Just for this.
Looks like you got a full tube chassis here. Tell us about it.
Yes, it's a full tube chassis. Built, probably 15 years ago by a guy down in Turlock. And it's just one of those things that seem to be working for me.
Pulling machine. I noticed you were here last year. How'd you do last year?
Middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack, okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully tonight you get a full pull, huh?
That's the game.
Awesome. Good meeting you. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you very much. Good seeing you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Hey, this is Brent Lewis, RTV Amador. What's your name?
Kareem.
Kareem. What year is your truck, sir?
2005 Dodge.
2005 Dodge. Now, is that the 5.9?
Yes, sir. High output Federal.
What's been done to the truck?
Engine, tranny, turbo, intercooler stuff, stock fuel still.
Okay, what class are you running here tonight?
Street diesel.
Street diesel. Okay, everybody. So we have 3 different classes tonight. He's running street diesel. How do you think you're gonna do?
Just gonna send it.
All right. Well, let's send it out the gates and get a full pull. Nice meeting you, Kareem.
Thank you. You too. You have a good day.
All right. Wow. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think that he is now your new leader. We just talked to him back there, and in his 05 Dodge with the 5.9. Wow, what a pull. Kareem, it looked like you're holding the #1 spot.
Yeah, told you I was going to send it, and I did.
Well, it looks like we interviewed the right guy at the right time.
Perfect.
Yep. So, what have you really done to that truck? Because all the other trucks that have pulled just haven't been up to par.
It's got a bigger than stock turbo and stock fuel still, so it's got a lot of room to improve, but it's still going all right. Good transmission built by Dow Brothers, good traction bars, and good suspension setup, nice and hooked.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We were glad to see you pull farther than anybody else. We hope that it holds up for the night. Good job.
Yep. Thank you guys.
This is the Gambler, and he's just now pulled on the sled. He's got his chain tight. You're seeing a safety cable there, so if that truck comes loose, that will shut off the motor, enters a response, pulls the sled down the track. He's unleashing that 632 cubic inch big block Chevy, alcohol injected, out the damn gates. Looks like a full pull.
Make some noise for the Gambler.
And that, folks, is a hot rod pull truck. What are we doing here, guys?
Warming it up.
Warming it up. Well, how long does it take to warm that thing up?
Probably on a hot night tonight, like a minute, if that.
Yeah, a minute to warm this bad boy up. Get it to look at these Pro 1 heads. Look at those aluminum heads. Just off the charts. I noticed that's injected. Is there a reason for the injection?
Alcohol.
Alcohol. All these trucks, these hot rod modified trucks are running on alcohol. Usually you see in like drag strip, you see blowers. What a truck. Well, we can't wait to see you guys full pull. Thank you. Hey, this is Brent Lewis, RTV Amador. and we are back. What's up, bro?
Hey man, good to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, your name again, I'm sorry.
Jason Ingham.
Jason, you're driving tonight.
Yes, I am.
Are we wheel standing this thing tonight?
I hope so. We got the brakes dialed in. We had a good pull at Dixon this year, so
that's awesome, man.
I was down to it. Man.
I was glad to see when I walked through the arena. I seen the big old lip on Carl's 4x4. I'll tell you what, it just makes us all smile when we see this thing, and we cannot wait to see the front wheels come off the ground.
Right on, man. We keep trying, so hopefully we'll get it, man.
What's your helmet there say?
Joker. That's my nickname.
That's awesome. Great nickname, great rig. We cannot wait to see it go in action.
All right,
thank you.
A lot, huh?
Brent Lewis, RTV Amador, check out this helmet. I mean, these guys don't only just put the work into their rigs. I mean, the intricate detail and the pipes and the star and the airbrushing that's done to this looks like a jet fighter. So these guys don't only just pay attention to the detail in their rigs, they actually pay attention to their apparel and their fire suits too. These guys have to wear an AS certified fireproof suit in case this alcohol injected motor, alcohol burns invisible. So if that big old motor decides that it's gonna come apart, these guys have to be protected by this helmet, usually a neck brace or a Hans device, and also a fireproof suit and fireproof shoes. So be aware that these guys put more detail into just their rigs, they put the detail into everything. RTV Amador, and right behind you is Iron Maiden. This is a 19-year-old young man, and he's pushing 518, I believe, cubic inches. One of the smaller cubic inches in the field. It looks like a 97 to 99 Ford. Do we know the year on this Ford? It said within that year of the boxed year. And notice the suspension in the back. It's solid mounted. It has springs, but there's solid struts in the back of that. When they get all that sled pulling down the weight on that rear tires, they want to make sure that there's no give in the suspension. There's a bunch of weights on the front of the truck because the front of the truck is where they're getting all the traction. And you don't want wheel hop. Wheel hop is when you break drive lines. Billy Anderson in the Hooligan, one of my favorite trucks of the night. There's a 67 through 72 Chevy C10. This one happens to be a long bed, which is actually probably an advantage for this type of truck. Notice how the rear end is way in the air. Notice there's no leaf springs in the back of this truck. Everything is tubular and mounted. It looks like 2x3 tubing, 2x4 tubing. This back of this truck is going nowhere. This thing is midnight black. It's putting out 532 cubic inches, alcohol injected, and it is ready to go over a full pull tonight. We cannot wait to see. Here we go. Hooligan. And that, folks, is out the gate. All right, this appears to be like a 88 to 90s Dodge. Now notice the front tires have a wider stance than the rear. In fact, you can see the dish in the wheels. The front dish wheel's about 10 inches deep. The back dish wheel's about 4 inches deep. What happens here is you don't want the front wheels digging trenches for the rear wheels. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have fresh dirt, fresh hard packed ground for all 4 tires. You get the optimum traction, and he's ready to pull. That's a 620 cubic inch Dodge. That's your winner for the evening in that class. Out the gate. That was a great pull. What we're going to point out here is the low tire pressure in the front tires. Again, like I said, the back has no problem because the back has all the weight from the sled. They want the front to bite as good as it can. Now, generally the tires have more aggressive tread, but on this sandy track, those are like a mild mud and snow. It may do pretty good, so we're going to check it out and see how it does. Like, nothing against the truck. The truck is very well built and looks strong. I really think that if you have a more aggressive tire pattern on your trucks, you're probably going to do better in this sandy material. Tonight, the trucks that don't have such an aggressive traction haven't been going as far. The trucks with a really aggressive traction have been doing really good and heading out the gate. And now tell me what body the Cummins comes in.
What are you talking about?
What kind of truck does the Cummins come in?
Was it a 1500 Dodge?
Well, she got it right at the last minute. I was going to get her on that one.
No, it's a 1500 Dodge.
You're under pressure. I understand. There's 50 people behind you. I understand. So, just to let you know, the Dodge Cummins comes in a 2500 or 3500, right?
Yeah.
Right? Not the 1500 because that's the gas power.
I got what you mean.
It's okay.
Put me on pressure. Come on.
Right.
You can't put me on
So we're going to
blast
put your
like
friend on pressure.
Okay, go
What's your
ahead.
name?
Natalie.
Natalie, what's with the Chevrolet hat?
I grew up with Chevys.
She grew up with Chevys. What's your favorite Chevy?
Silverado.
Silverado. 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive?
4-wheel.
So you're into 4-wheel drive, lifted or lowered?
Lifted.
Because now, if you notice, they're lowering these 4x4s and they're racing them. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
So do you like them lifted or do you like them lowered?
Lifted.
Like them lifted. You guys have a truck here tonight?
Actually I have 3 or 4.
They have 4 trucks here tonight. That's awesome. And how have they been doing?
Pretty darn good.
All right. And then how many friends are with you tonight?
A lot.
So I noticed that everyone who has a truck here has at least 10 to 15 to 20 friends.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So good to see you guys come out. Thank you for coming to the Amador County Fair with your trucks, and hopefully you guys do a full pull tonight.
Thank you.
All right. So coming up next, it looks like we got a two-tone orange and white. Depending on the front end, it looks like a 74 Chevy. And if I know one of my friends from high school, he used to have a 73 Chevy, I think. And I think it had a big block with nitrous. And I think we heard of a couple people's feelings in Amador County, maybe at a store on some road that I don't remember, but I remember. And I think it ran 1080 at 150? 1150. I thought it ran at 1080 at some point, but anyway, this is the same body style. Notice that we have the Super Swampers on here. Mickey Thompson Super Swampers, big heavyweight on the front, giant 5-inch cowl induction hood. It sounds pretty nasty. You can see the aluminum radiator. This guy's ready to pull, probably pushing 400, 500 horse. The part I noticed tonight is this track started out completely flat. Now if you pan around, camera guy, pan around, we've got 2 huge dips here. We got a dip right here between 75 and 100 feet, and we have a hill climb up to 70 feet. So what's happening is the trucks are getting over the hill, falling down the dip, and when they fall down the dip, they get to the 100-foot rise, and it's like it's putting the brakes on the truck. So you got 2 dips here, and it's actually working to a disadvantage to these trucks with a heavy horsepower. So really, really unfortunate, but that's what's happening to the track. Track conditions change all the time. We also have a lot of moisture in the air. It's super humid tonight. That's also affecting the horsepower performance of these vehicles. They're not breathing as well as they should. And when you have combustion chambers that are 12.5, 14 to 1, blown alcohol, and regular injected alcohol, humidity plays a huge part in that. You're robbing these trucks of horsepower. So between the track and the horsepower, the trucks aren't pulling out the gate like they usually do. Brett Lewis, RTV Amador, and what we got coming up is called Bad Rig. Now that could mean 2 different things, but based on its appearance, I'm assuming that bad means good. Now, the condition of the track tonight could be bad, in a bad way. So let's see, this also is a 73 to 75 Chevy, a little less cubic inches. I talked to this gentleman earlier. He's pushing about 500 horsepower. He also has the Mickey Thompson Super Swampers. It seems to be a really popular tractor pattern tire. It looks really good with the white wheels, and the front says, "Ain't scared." Now, if you say bad rig and ain't scared, you better full pull out the door. That's coming from Brent Lewis. The bad rig is bad in a good way. Radical Habit coming up. Sponsored by Ramsey Express Trucking. You know, the 73 to 75 Chevy is a really popular body tonight. Seems like they're all running the long bed. I believe that that plays a big key role in this whole situation. Looks like he's got about 800 to 1,000 pounds in front of the truck. The front tire pressure, again, is very low, probably running between 5 and 8 pounds. A lot of these tires are what they call bead locked or screwed in. What they'll do is actually run a real screw through the rubber, through the rim, and it actually holds that tire from spinning on the rim. Yes, I said spinning on the rim because these trucks have so much torque and they're pulling so much weight that they'll actually spin that tire on the rim if there's nothing holding it. So there's a lot of technique goes into this. Nice pull, very nice pull. Over the 150-foot mark, very nice. Something about the crisp Chevy, those big blocks, you can just hear them ringing when they go by. My ears actually hurt off that one. So nice to hear the big horsepower. Just be careful, wear your ear protection. Brett Lewis, RTV Amador. We're getting ready to watch this Waterford Hickman 1 FPD. It looks like it says Code 3. I believe that's the name of the truck. Love the artwork on the side with the fireman's helmet with the hatchets. Beautiful. They're called Giant Polar Dick Cepex. That's an aggressive tire. I believe this truck will do really good. I don't know the year of this truck. If I had to guess, I would say it's a 63 to 66 Power Wagon, Dodge Power Wagon. I didn't have a chance to talk with the owner, but everybody here is running over 500 horsepower and everyone's running over 500 cubic inches. So this truck could rightfully be, and if I could take a peek over the hood. Okay, we're running it's a Holley base, and it looks like it's a Dominator. So Dominator is a lot of fuel, 1,000 CFM to maybe 1,500 CFM. So that's a lot of fuel. So my guess is, and he's got the motor covered up, but I see some aluminum heads. If I had to guess, it's a steel block. It's got a scatter shield over the tranny. That's pretty standard for these. That's part of the safety. I'm saying it's over 600 cubic inches. I'll ask the driver real quick, and we'll see what he says. Hi, Brent Lewis, RTV Amador. What kind of cubic inches are you running in this?
543 Mopar.
543 Mopar. And it looked like it had aluminum heads.
Yes.
All right.
Indy heads, Indy intake, and a 1150 Dominator.
What year is the truck, sir?
1962 Van Pelt fire truck.
1962. It was a real fire truck?
It was my grandfather's Chief's truck.
His grandfather's Chief's truck. That's awesome. All right. Thanks for interviewing with us. Code 3 coming up. That's a 62 Dodge. He's running Mopar power, aluminum headed Mopar power, over 500 cubic inches, Power Wagon, about to come alive here. Got a lot of weight on the front, not as much air pressure out of the front as I'd like to see again. I think if they lowered the air pressure, seems like the trucks that had lower air pressure where their rim was almost touching the ground were doing a lot better than the trucks with a lot more air. So let's see how he does. Let's see, is he gonna turn on the lights? Remember, folks, this was a real fire truck from his grandfather's Chief. There we go. And that's a
Code 3, John Moore.
Coming at you. This thing has the most beautiful paint job you ever seen. It's got double stack candy flames, and I know something about candy flames, by the way. Growing up in the automotive business, this truck probably has a $10,000 paint job on it. That's not to count the super expensive front weight counterweight set in the front, fully polished. I talked to this gentleman last year, 610 cubic inches, Chevrolet power. He's kept the truck the same. It's got the same Mickey Thompson Super Swampers on it. Seems to be a really popular tire. Not as much air pressure in the front as I'd like to see, but let's see how he does. He's got a little more air pressure, a lot in the back. Like I said, the back air pressure doesn't matter that much because you got the weight. lot of trucks over the 150 mark. I'd say if I had to guess, are 2 or 3 feet apart. These trucks are very similar in Pull Series. They're even set up kind of the same. You just see a different kind of tire pressure, and most people have the back lifted higher than the others, but all the trucks that seem to have those Mickey Thompson Super Swampers seem to be pulling the best. Looks like we're lowering the lid here. Another Ramsey Express sponsored trucking called Running Bear. If you see the front weight counterweight system here, he has the logo on the front. He's also running about, I would say, each weight there, I'd say he's running close to 6, 7, 8, 9, probably 1,000 pounds on the front. He has an external fuel tank on the front. A lot of run and catch can. See how front forward that motor is? They want as much weight on the front of this truck as they can get. This truck is also running airbags on the front suspension. He can let the air out or put the air in depending on the track temperature and conditions. The back is solid mount like we're seeing on all these highly modified trucks. Body lifts up and down. It's pretty, and it's black. It's a beautiful truck. So let's see what it runs. It's got a huge carburetor on it. Alcohol, probably alcohol also, and it's definitely got a Dominator on it. So let's see how he does. Notice the staggered wheel presence. The staggered wheel presence. The front wheels are stretched out way past the rear. Same thing. He wants to make sure that the front trenches that are being dug aren't running over the same as the rear. They want fresh, compacted dirt for the most pulling power. Let's see how he does. Also, Running Bear has got his tire pressure really low. Notice the screws. That's a beadlock rim. He probably got 5 pounds of air pressure. That's what I'd like to see for tonight. Tonight's track is sandy, it seems like, and he's got those CPEC aggressive, what I call truck pulling tires. And I think he's got the right amount of tire. Let's see him pull this thing out the gate. That would just verify my tire pressure theory. Cubic inch Chevrolet called the California Flash. Get her done, boys.
Sponsored by DVI Beverage, Lopes Racing, Pyramid Brewing, Nut Up Industries, Ramsey Express Trucking, Ambriola Racing. Let's take a shout out to Leslie.
All right, so the California Flash, folks. This is a 46 Dodge Power Wagon. This body was actually used in the military. They actually took this, I talked to the owner, they took this out of a field. It's an actual old war wagon, original Army truck. Notice the front tire pressure. Front tire pressure down, the beadlock, probably about 5 pounds of air pressure. You got the breather tubes hanging off the front of the motor, high compression. That's a Lopes racing engine, folks, 600 cubic inches. Coming up next, it looks like the Third Dimension. They're getting ready. Now, as a child, this is my favorite truck, and I keep talking about that, but what sticks out in my mind is this is probably why I chose my favorite color to be blue. So, Third Dimension, custom hand lettered, custom candy paint. 46 Dodge Power Wagon. Now watch when he pulls out. When he pulls out, the back is so lightweight that it's actually bulldogging. It's pulling the back. See how the tire's off the ground? It's got so much weight on the front. If you notice when he goes by us and you get a side shot of the truck, that weight, 1,000 pounds or more, is 4 feet in front of the engine. And he's at 1,100 pounds on the front of that truck. Now that's an alcohol injected 613 cubic inch Chevrolet. Notice there's like 3.5 pounds of air pressure in that front tire. Now notice that the screws are not in the side of the rim like you'd normally see. In fact, they're over the lip and into the rubber so they can get the maximum grip from them screws so you don't have any tire spin on that rim. Let's see him get a full pull. That's not gonna do it. I think he's about 15 feet short, and we got one more shot at it. Long shot's gonna take a look right here, right behind me. Long shot. That's not your normal carburetor. Those are 2 giant flutes, what we call toilet bowls, and so the alcohol is actually injected in there, and they have 2 giant butterflies, probably 3 inches in diameter, underneath that air element. So a whole different setup than any other truck tonight. And it says it has 672 cubic inches. That means it's the most cubic inches in its class. Probably 2,500 to 3,000 horsepower.
On the year.
Brent Lewis, RTV Amador. How much horsepower are you pushing?
13, 14.
13 to 1,400 horsepower. Now the mark to meet, do you know what it is?
No.
Okay, all I know is you got to put this front bumper on that gate. I want to see you go out the gate.
I did it last year.
I saw you last year, that's why I'm at your door.
All right.
Let's do it. He says he's taking it out the gate, folks. Long shot. It is a long shot right now. The only truck in its class that has a chance to head out the gate. Let's see him do it. 191.7 is the actual distance to beat. 191.7.
That'll bring up the long shot. Bob Griffin, already a winner this season. And he goes for win number 2 in the year here on the Western American Pulling Tour. Now, since this is your final look of the night, Gearhead, race fans, what we like to do here at the Western American Pulling Tour is everyone get on your feet.
Everyone on your feet.
Salute to all the hooks here tonight and to our final competitor of the evening, Bob Griffin and the long shot. He's gonna go 181.
Here we go, long shot.
All the spotlight, the drama, the intensity, all on Bob Griffin and long shot. Can he make the mark and get 2 wins on the season? Or will Jason Pittsworth of the California Flash survive another night at the Amador County Fair? Bob Griffin in the long shot. We're gonna post up a green light. We have a green flag.
And folks, that's why they say there's no replacement for displacement. Hear what I said. There's no replacement for displacement. 672 cubic inches, took it out the gate, winner of the night. You said you were going to do it. You sure did it. What's your name again?
Bob Griffin.
Bob Griffin. Badass pull, badass truck. No replacement for displacement. Huge cubic inches, took that thing out the gate. Great job.
Yep. They want to hook up at the beginning.
Right, I saw that. I saw you lay into it, feathered into it, right?
Yep.
And then you laid it to the wood.
I laid it because it started hooking.
What's that injection system on top of the motor? I'm curious.
It's just a set of interlead toilets.
That's
around.
Good call, camera guy. He said those are toilets. I said, yeah. I never heard of that. I never seen them. Great. Great job. Good job.
Did you interview me last year?
We did. We did interview you last year. Yeah. Great job last year too. Right. Winner both years in a row.
How far did I pull? You know the distance?
197.6, I think it was.
Cool.
All right.
Last year is 201.
201 last year. Right. Good job.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This is Brent Lewis, RTV Amador, and we're going to close this show with the winner right behind me. Pulled it out the gate, and we will see you all next year. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the fair. We will see you Sunday at the Demolition Derby. Don't miss us in the pits.